far out of the mine, and it's really windy out here, so I put a different microphone on. Hopefully it's reducing some of the wind noise. Cool little head frame right here. See, it drops down there. It would have come up and dumped ore out here to a waiting cart there, which would have run out. So the ore bin there. This is what's left of the hoist house. Unfortunately, not much. It's our vehicle in the background there. All right, we just dropped down the shaft there. I've come down to the first level, which is behind me here. So let's go check it out. Oh, I should add that the shaft keeps going as well down that way, but for now, we'll check out the level where we are. That's some old school lagging right there, holding back a mess of rock. Some gobbing right there. That's my buddy's camera making that noise in the background. Nah, people think it was like an alarm or a ghost or something. So. Cool little pillar right there. And a lot of materials come down from the surface and filled in these stopes, it looks like. Man, that's holding back a lot of rock. That's crazy. You can see where the vein was dipping down. Pretty shallow angle, but they followed it perfectly. The shaft is at that exact angle. Got the waste rock piled up on the sides. There's a better look at what those boards are holding back. It's almost like a cage, and they just filled it full of waste rock. There's looking up that way. Okay, just twisting our way back here. Looks like it faces out right there, actually. Oh, so this is just a stope that was in front of us here. The drift cuts off to the left. Here's another stope here. Just a messy little stope. Nothing really up there. Just stick our heads in here real quickly. Alright, so this obviously drops down to lower levels. We'll intersect that. I'm going to go down the next level in the shaft. Yeah, that just ends right there. And just a little stoping right here. So, let's follow that drift. We are just looking back there. And I've got this drift to the left to check out. Looks like it ends there. Look at some of the rock in here. Pretty colorful. Yeah, that's the end right there. Maybe something going on to the left. Oh yeah. So this goes off to the left, and that's it right there. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but that's the top right there. So that's it for that. And that's it for that. My friends went back there and checked that out already. I made sure there was nothing there, so we're not missing anything. Back in the shaft, we just checked out that drift there. And there was still this one behind me here, which I don't think went very far. Okay, well, that was easy. That's the end right there. I don't think there's... Oh, there is something behind me. Huh. This is more extensive than I expected back here. Okay, backfilled to the top, and that just ended right there anyway, but that's also backfilled. Just made my way down from up there. Notice there's some burned timbers here. Unfortunately, I'm at a little mid-level here. They just made a notch right there, but over on this side, it ties into those stopes. We look down, really heavily filled in. Hands and knees work, as you can see. That's 2 feet high. It looks like it pinched out back there. Fortunately, we didn't need to go back there because my friends went back there while I was checking out that first drift, and so they said it just pinches out, and it's nothing worth seeing back there because it just ties into the stuff we saw from above. A little stope right there, doesn't go anywhere. So just had to show that mid-level drift for completeness, but now we're gonna drop down there. It looks more developed down there. That's probably the 200 level down there. Down at the next level, my friends right there. That's where we came down. Kind of a cool look with the sunlight getting filtered through the dust. Looking down, without slipping hopefully. Just keeps going, so that's a good sign. I noticed this notch, or this, I don't know what you would call that. Can't think of the term right now, but basically a hole for a piece of wood to go through, and I imagine that would serve as a stop for the station, because you can see they did have a station here. So that would be my guess. I'm remains of a dynamite box right there. Looks like I got some other, got the remains of a pickaxe, some other interesting things here. Huh. Let's go see. Oh, this drift looks fairly extensive. There's a drift running there. Let's go see where this one goes. I'm gonna do the right hand rule. They went left. So let's see what is down here. Well, I got some artifacts here. It does end right there. Oh, actually, it keeps going here. Never mind. It keeps going that way. But it ends in front of us, ends to the side of us. You can see the wrapping paper for the dynamite here. I don't know, I was hoping there'd be a logo or something on it. Over here, we've got competition white. I don't know what that would be used for in a mine. I have no idea why that's here. But it looks like it's been down here a while. We were just checking out the competition white. Now let's see where this drift goes. Bending around. I'll keep thinking that's the end, and then it keeps going. Pretty good mineralized zone right there. And then there's the face. So let's go cruise down that left drift. Okay, we just checked out the competition white drift right there. And now we have to drift off to the left. Looks like some more wrapping paper for the dynamite. Got some gobbing right here. There's just a little stope chamber right there. That's the end. Same deal here. That just ties into those stopes. Backfilled drift. Didn't go back too far. sheet metal back here. Kind of cool seeing the rail still here. Another backfill drift in front of us right there. Still bending our way around. Looks like there's an ore chute right there. Oh, I got some nice stoping up here. See the stopes up there. Those obviously tie into the others. And then looking ahead, of course, we've got that ore chute. I think this is the end of the drift. They put the sheet metal down on the ore chute to help protect it. That means it must have gotten a fair amount of use, which actually makes sense if you think about how extensive that stoping was overhead. And the levels above us. I was looking up. Yeah, it definitely ties in. Cool, cool. Just making sure I'm not missing anything on the ground. Alright, let's go keep dropping down that shaft. There are stopes running the whole way down, so I'm hoping there'll be something good down below. Because I mean, this hill is pretty extensively stoped out. You know? We're still making our way down from up there. And there's an ore chute here. As you can see, pretty old school. This would have dumped right into a skip car. There's also happens to be a manway leading up here, so we scouted it out, and it seems like there's a level up there. So we're gonna go check that out. Meanwhile, this shaft just keeps dropping down. But a level's a level, so I will meet you guys up there. There's looking down the ore chute we just climbed up the side of. Back in the little chamber here. Immediately to my right, little stope. Doesn't go anywhere. What's cool is this drift level here, which normally you climb up a manway like that, you expect to see just stopes and that's it. But this is a legitimate level. Bunch of dynamite wrappers back here. Those are older. And there is a stope dropping down there on a bat. But we can see that from lower down. What I'm interested in is this drift level. There's an ore cart. Cool, cool. An ore cart tipped over on its side. Probably be missing the wheels, given that people can't seem to resist taking the wheels, but still very cool. Little pocket cleared out up there. Still very cool to see this ore cart. There is a look at the bottom of the ore cart. And the back of it, or the front, depending on your perspective. That is really cool. Tell you what, it's those little side pockets and drifts that you underestimate that seem to have the good stuff in them. Most often. Bending and twisting around back here. Looks like a very old pair of pants. Amazing how often we see pants inside abandoned mines. Really begs the question as to whether the miners were, you know, that means the guy went home that day and just has underwear or what? This is a really spacious drift level. I am impressed. I really thought this was just going to be a little stove. Maybe I have a junction right here. Wow. It's a thin little rail. That's probably the thinnest rail I can remember seeing in a long time.
Did you get the date off that newspaper?
No.
1934.
Oh, I gotta go look at that more closely. Just faces out right there. Does it face out here?
Yeah.
And faces out right there. It's a cool little scene back here. That's pretty impressive for what we all assumed was just going to be a trashy little stope up here.
Yeah.
There are those pants I passed on the way in, and I was so taken with those and fascinated with those, I missed the details of this newspaper here. And sure enough, look at the date right there, September 1st, 1934. Garibaldi's single describing the baseball game. There's not a lot left, to be sure. But it's interesting. There's a picture even.
Big one?
Miss Margaret Walden be trousered for Manila. There's Margaret. Let's see, it's weather forecast. It's like passenger ship details or information. Back at the ore chute, making our way down to the shaft, and a friend noticed something while we were getting ready to go down, and that was this drill right here, or drill bit, I should say. And what's noteworthy about this is that it doesn't have the hole in the middle to pump water into what's being drilled, and so that would make an incredible amount of dust and would give the miner silicosis. So quite a while ago, they started putting holes in the middle of the drill bits to inject water during the drilling process to keep the dust down. So that gives us an indicator of how old this mine is, because you haven't seen drills like that used for a long time. There's that ore chute we just came down there, and right in front of it almost is this pole with this pulley on it, which I thought was pretty cool. It's definitely an older one. Still turns. Obviously it was flexible, could have been moved around. I'm not sure.
It's writing on the other side.
Oh, was there? I missed it. Too busy narrating.
Nope, I totally lied.
Never mind. I'm not sure how that would have been used. It's kind of out of place here, so it's cool to know how they would have used it. But interesting stuff. That shaft room going down is right there. You can actually see one of the rails. And I saw this little pocket back here and came to check it out. Wasn't sure if it was just a stope or not, because this looked like a stope, all this stuff here. But in fact, it's a drift level. You can see behind me here, there's stuff running off that way. There's stuff running off that way. And some pretty impressive stopes overhead. Looking up, the stopes. And interestingly, what I'm standing on is actually the drift level as well. Because you can see all that rock that came down, smashed the timber supports here, and broke them down. So there would have been a nice easy drift coming in here, but now we got to climb over it. So clambering over that's going to be a bit of a struggle, because it's kind of steep dropping down there, but we'll figure it out and get it down there. I was just down there a moment ago, and I've climbed up to that section I was looking up to before, and there's an ore chute up here that drops down to the shaft. A skip car obviously would have picked that up. Just behind the ore chute, there's a drift level going back there. Looking down, there's also one of the drift levels we looked into when we were standing back over there. That's one of those. That's one of those. So we'll go check that out in a second. There are the remains of a stick of dynamite right there. It's kind of cool. How's that drift looking?
It faces out. There's some canvas and bits in there. There's a stope.
Okay, I'll go check it out. So I was just filming from there. Got that ore chute here in front of me. So you can dump down to the shaft there. And we've got this little drift here that the ore chute helped empty. So if you remember, we were looking down the stope from above. That's this one right here. We looked down there from above. That level with the ore cart is right there. So that ties in And the drift runs back here. And yeah, it just faces out right there. Little canvas I walked over on the way in. Got another pair of pants actually. These guys losing all their pants down here. Alright, we were poking around up there before. This is where we came in, where that drift collapsed, or I should say was smashed underneath all the rock there. And then drift went to the right and to the left. Let's start with the right. Do the right hand rule. Just a little backfilled chamber right there. And just ends right there as well. Got a rail sticking out and impale somebody. More canvas here. Don't know what that would have been used for. Anyway, that's where we were before. Right up there. You can see the top of the ore chute right there. Not sure what they would use this canvas here for. Looks a little big to be an ore bag. We have drift that went off to the left now. That's kind of cool. I don't think I realized that was a pillar. A little bit of mineralization there. Boards tossed here and there. More stoping up there. And running down there. Just some dynamite box wrappers and such tossed in there. You can see the contact zone here pretty clearly. And the drift seems to be working around back here. Oh, nice gobbing right there. Real nice gobbing. I doubt there's anything in that can. Ah, there is. A lot of grease. Behind me, big stope leading up. Wow. Actually, I would call that a raise. Raise runs up to a lot of the stopes we saw up there, and the levels above. Big beefy timber. Got some more canvas here, right there, and here. A lot of canvas. I don't know what they were using that for. Unless they were early event bags or something. More stoping, more canvas. See, we still have the rail here in front of us, which is cool. Got more stopes running up there. Is down here. Okay, just that's it right there. Little pocket. And then looking up,
Just a stope.
we've got just a stope apparently.
Cuts into that one.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you. That was very timely of you to be there and to share that with us.
I just need to sit down for a few minutes.
This is a detail on one of the dynamite boxes I passed on the way in. It's more unusual. Giant box. I haven't seen that pattern very often. That was just kind of cool. Thought it was worth sharing. So we'll keep dropping down that shaft, and how did I say? I underestimated this one. It's going down a lot deeper than I expected, and we still haven't seen the bottom yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's ahead. You can just see an ore chute off in the distance up there. That's the one that we are looking down on the drift level we just finished. Turn the camera on now because there's another ore chute here. Although this one doesn't appear to be attached to a drift level, but instead to a stope. Looks like I might have had a little station right here to level out the skip car so it could be loaded up. There's a view up. Yeah, that one just looks like a stope right there. I think we might see the bottom of the shaft finally. Just down there where they are. I think that's the bottom. We'll go check for sure. Still making my way down. I was shooting up there before. You can just see the edge of that ore chute there. I filmed a moment ago. I stopped here because I thought this ladder was interesting. Very primitive ladder. Leads up to this stope right here. And then we are almost down at the bottom, which is there. There's that primitive ladder right there, and we are officially at the bottom. Let's not go any farther. However, there is a stope here, which looks like it might actually have a drift level attached to it. So I'm going to climb up there through this and push off of those to make sure that that is not a drift level. And if it is, we'll check it out. But that's crying out to be checked out, so I'll climb up there and do that. All right, I just climbed up from down there, and I'm afraid going back down is a lot harder than coming up. And I don't think it was worth it because you just got this little drift that ends right there behind me. A little bit drifting, but okay, it just stops right there. And then this, that obviously ties into one of the stopes that we saw farther up. So that is it for this section at the bottom, but you gotta check, right? Just make sure that doesn't go anywhere. Okay, yeah, it just ends right there actually. Probably there's probably like an ore pass or something there that drops stuff down. But that's it.